Actually, this is interesting because it's the 20th anniversary of the invention of the TriCaster.
Wow.
The TriCaster was first announced at NAB back in 2005 on April 18th. And so we're having our 20th anniversary celebration of the TriCaster right now. Vizrt provides storytellers with the tools that they need to be able to reach their audiences with really beautiful storytelling. So if you are a single content creator and you want to have amazing graphics that are easy to use, plus the ability to be able to take your live production to any digital channel, Vizrt has those tools for you. And it's for the individual all the way up to the world's largest broadcasters.
Back in the old days, when I was going through NAB, Vizrt was really high-end graphics, but you've expanded far beyond that. What product lines do you have now?
We are everywhere now, if you think about it. So yes, we started with graphics. That is our passion. That is still our passion today, but we do so much more than that. So if you're looking at a live production, you have a lot of little pieces that you need to be able to go on in the air. You need a production switcher. Well, we've got TriCasters. You need to be able to manage your video assets. We have a media asset management system, Viz1. Maybe you want to go and do some live sports. Well, we have tools for doing sports analysis, for being able to add ads onto the football field, and we have everything in between. So Vizrt is a very broad company where we have all these different tools, but at the same time, we like to take it down to what is the single solution that you are trying to achieve to help you be live.
Well, much so. I'd like to get some of your enterprise solutions and play with some of those really high-end toys. I checked my checkbook, and I don't have that kind of cash available. For independent media creators, people that are working with smaller budgets and smaller crews, what do you have? Let's take a look at TriCaster first. What's happening with TriCaster?
Actually, this is interesting because it's the 20th anniversary of the invention of the TriCaster.
Wow.
The TriCaster was first announced at NAB back in 2005 on April 18th. So we're having our 20th anniversary celebration of the TriCaster right now. And the TriCaster has grown a lot since back then. It was just that one single TriCaster that was really disruptive for the industry. And we're keeping that idea, though, of easy to use live production and expanding it in different angles. So we do have bigger TriCasters now, TriCasters for, the big boys in broadcast, TriCasters that are only in the cloud, and we have TriCasters for the people that are just getting started in the live production game.
Well, you're marketing against two groups. I'm thinking Grass Valley at the high end for switchers, the TriCaster, and I'm thinking the ATEM switchers from Blackmagic Design.
That's right.
What makes your switchers special?
One, it is a TriCaster. So if you think about you're getting into the industry, you want to start doing live productions, we have the TriCaster Mini S, which is going to give you 8 inputs and NDI all on a laptop.
No separate box, just on the laptop, all software?
Just software on a laptop. That's all you need. And because you have NDI built into it, you just plug in your network cable and you have all your discoverable sources right there for you, and you can stream out live. But that TriCaster software that you're using right there, it's the same TriCaster software that you're going to be using for your middle tier TriCasters all the way up to the big boys using TriCasters. So you can grow with the product. Master the Mini, you're going to be ready to take on the massive productions for the biggest broadcasters at the same time.
Before we leave TriCaster, are there any new announcements that you have?
First of all, if you have a TriCaster, great, you can do that, but you also need graphics. And so when you get a TriCaster, you also get HTML5 graphics as part of the package with VizFlowX. So you're starting off...
Well, wait, you're using a term I don't know. What is HTML5? That's just a programming language, like HTML.
Yeah, sure.
So what does HTML5 graphics mean?
All right, so HTML5, this is your web browser. All right, so your web browser can now be your graphics engine. So you can go into a web browser and open up Flowx, which is our HTML5 graphics, and you have a very simple tool to be able to do lower thirds, full screen graphics, take in live data from sports or stocks or weather or whatever you want, and it becomes all the graphics that you use in the TriCaster for saying, the Larry Jordan name at the bottom of the screen.
I'm confused. In other words, I'm drawing shapes and lines and arrows with a web browser? Because that strikes me as like using a hammer to carve wood. It doesn't seem like it's the right tool for the job.
You would think that, but actually the web browser is an incredibly powerful tool that allows you to do many, many things. And you don't think about it, but every day you're on a web browser looking at different websites. You're watching video from on YouTube or any other channel. All of that is happening in the web browser. That means it's actually incredibly powerful. So if you open up a tool where you can start designing in the web browser, and we have little widgets and everything to make the design process very, very fast and easy for you, then you start to really understand the power of the web browser and the fact that the web browser is available for everyone. It is truly the democratization of internet because that's how we all experience the internet. You take that idea and place it into the hands of somebody who's doing graphics for live production, and suddenly you're using the power of this thing that everyone uses in the world to be able to do graphics live for your production.
So I'm able to take the output of that web browser and feed it into a TriCaster. So it's like I've got a separate graphics station without having a graphics station.
Exactly, exactly. So yeah, open up another laptop or open up your web browser. You can do all your graphics there, and you're bringing it straight into the TriCaster.
So get me back to the news. What's the new news as opposed to the
Yes.
existing product line?
You may have heard that Skype TX is dead. So how do you get your live contributors into your TriCaster, into your live production?
Zoom.
Exactly. So we now have a partnership with Zoom that we're announcing today that allows us to have Zoom embedded natively in the TriCaster.
Oh, very cool.
So yes, in the Mini S and every other TriCaster line, we have Zoom native in there so that you can have your remote contributors right there at your fingertips in your live production system.
Okay, so now I've got a hard question for you. I've seen what it looks like when I design graphics. No one wants to see what it looks like when I design graphics. I have no design skills. How can I use your tools and not look like a complete idiot?
Well, we have about 150 or more graphics packages already pre-designed that you just open up, drag and drop, mix and match, make your own little thing, and you're ready to go.
You were thinking of me.
I was like, this is going to be perfect for Larry.
One of the challenges traditional media is going through is it's been under a lot of pressure. And I don't need to go into great detail about that, but I want to flip the question around. Where are you seeing signs of growth in media creation?
It depends on what you mean by media. Are you thinking of broadcasters, or are you thinking of anybody that wants to tell stories with live video?
If I say traditional media, I'm thinking broadcast and cable. If I say media, I'm thinking the much broader market. What was called at the NAB last year called the creator economy, which includes corporate and enterprises and social media.
Yes.
My assumption is that traditional media is still getting hammered, and the growth is in social media. But are social media people interested in the products that you're offering?
Yes, they are. So if I take that approach and break it down into two different answers here. So if we say the traditional media
As many answers as you want.
All right. So traditional media, yes, they are at a point where they need to learn how to disrupt themselves. They shouldn't try to disrupt the world. They need to disrupt themselves and make that big change to leap to where people are actually viewing content. Yesterday at the booth, our CEO said something that was really interesting. It was, where the eyes go, the dollars go. And what that means is where the viewers are, that's where you're going to be able to make money. And the viewers are changing. You and I are traditional broadcast viewers. We grew up in a generation where we're watching everything on television. But the generations that are coming up, the ones that are going to be the real market for advertisers, are going to be looking at things differently. They're looking at their phones. They're experiencing the world through TikTok, through YouTube, through these digital channels. And until the broadcasters can disrupt themselves, change the way that they do things to be able to reach out to viewers on these platforms, they're still going to have a big challenge in being able to have any kind of growth. But there's also a lot of competition for them now today, too, because people are figuring this out. There are these content creators, the people that you talked about, the creator economy here, that have millions of viewers that are on these channels. And what they are starting to realize is, hey, there are these software tools that can make me look amazing. And they can make me look as good as the big broadcasters without the big price. And that's where we are seeing things with VizRT as well. Okay, so how do we then take our big tools like the big virtual sets and everything and make them available for the content creators? We've got to shrink that down. But and we're finding ways of being able to do that now.
2 questions before I let you go. One of your tasks as the Chief Marketing Officer is to figure out where the puck is going, as Wayne Gretzky used to say. What trends are you watching that we should pay attention to?
I'm paying attention to what's happening on digital channels, TikTok and YouTube. YouTube is the #1 channel in many parts of the world for people to watch television. And TikTok is getting very, very interesting because it has this ability for people, the audience, to engage with the person that's live streaming. So that's what I'm watching. That's where I'm seeing growth. And that's where we need to be able to bring and build tools to be able to engage the audiences there. We just announced something yesterday with our partner in Blinks in Dubai, where we are having influencers come into a virtual set, do live streams, and while people are watching on their TikTok, they can interact, and when they interact, they changes the entire virtual set around the presenter. And so now the person at home is part of the show, and the presenter sees them and can interact with them. And it's amazing. And this is the kind of future that we're looking at.
You've got exactly 1 paragraph. How would you highlight the key features or benefits of VizRT to someone who has not used your products yet?
VizRT is going to allow you to tell your story the way you want to tell it and get it to your audience. And it's going to allow you to look beautiful while doing that through amazing graphics tools, through amazing live production tools, but tools that are also easy to use and very accessible by the individual. And you can grow with the tools. So as you become bigger and more professional with the things that you are doing, you can grab onto new tools and grow with them.
Chris, thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you.